Some have said that this is the most controversial Chopin competition ever. Let's check in with Dr. Ryan Kelly to see if that's really true. We've already looked at the winner, so today we're going to watch a performance by the runner-up, Kevin Chen.
Let's take a look. I think it's good to wait a while before you start. Like this. It adds some gravitas to your, it's like, oh shoot, what's about to happen, you know? I actually liked the motion, the follow through motion as he started too. Everybody in this competition has just great tone in their right hand. It's really good at filling the whole auditorium with a piano-like sound, you know? And when I say piano sound, I mean a soft sound. Piano like the Italian word. How old is this guy? He looks so young.
20.
Wow. Jeez. Yeah, that was great. What I really liked about what he just did was just the fluidity of the movements and the intensity and the growing intensity of it. Little B-section action here. Stuff like this is like obviously it sounds easier than some of the other pieces we've heard, right? But it's a different kind of hard. It's like really got to be note perfect, because like you can kind of hide you can hide some like technical like imperfections in like the longer passages that are a lot more virtuosic, right? But this has to be perfect, and not just note wise too, but like musically. How he's rolling those notes in the left hand. Really easy to miss something or not hit something correctly, and really notice it if you don't. These octaves are cool. I don't know this piece that well. I like it. The octaves are really cool. Take on the beginning now. It's some triplets. everything is just like his top line is so separate from everything going on below. You know what I mean? It sounds like another person playing, like a duet, a really beautiful duet, two separate people. D flat to the E natural sounded like a wrong note. Those are the best notes, are the right notes that sound like the wrong notes. Beautiful. Yeah, great. Yeah, the last, yeah, beautiful. The last like C section, he was I think one of my favorite performers throughout. I know we did a React video to the first place winner, and I don't know if you saw, Jacob, but we got flack for not watching the entire competition from beginning to end. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, that's a little bit why this is happening right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think I responded to one comment where they said, well, y'all didn't even look at the other stuff. And I'm like, valid, so let's do it.
I watched like quite a bit of it, but I do understand if you're gonna like weigh in on stuff like a competition, you should watch everything. But you know what? I'm not a juror for the competition, so I was not invited. So here we are.
Yeah, I have a job. I do what I can.
I'm running piano by pictures, so I don't have time to watch the whole thing. I have been listening to it a lot, and especially these recordings.
That leads me to the first question, which is, do you still hold your opinion in last video that Eric Liu deserved to win?
I got kind of into the weeds after we saw that, and I read some of the comments, and I watched Tianyu. Is that her name? The 16-year-old from China. I think a lot of people, I don't think she placed, and I think a lot of people were upset about it. Listen to the pianist from Georgia. I forget his name, but yeah, I don't know. This seems like a controversial decision. A lot of people are surprised by it. I don't know. It's piano's subjective. Piano's subjective. It's tough, and especially at this level when everybody is just so excellent, note perfect, beautiful tone, really brilliant performance. Then you're getting into the deep nuances of like interpretation, and two expert pianists can think completely different things. I've seen it over and over again. And so you can kind of get into a war of opinions with this type of stuff, which I think happened a little bit from what I've read and listened to on this. And this is obviously, I mean, we're listening to the second place winner. This is like one piece of many, and it's excellent. But you know, like you have to kind of you have to really listen to the whole thing. So I'm not going to give my opinion on who should have won it anymore, because I am more like, I don't know, as ever, after reading a bunch and listening to a bunch of the performances.
On our last video, I noticed that 99% of y'all aren't subscribed. So if you enjoy this content or you want to learn how to play the piano, consider subscribing.
We talked a little bit about the last section that he did. Really cool. He has this right? He has these like triplets in the right hand, and then he has these melody notes, these like clear notes. He does really excellent at bringing them out. So I taught at a religious school. I don't know if you knew that before. I was a professor up north in Idaho at a religious school, Christian school, and whenever I would teach, like we were working on this, invariably I'd be like, the Sermon on the Mount when Jesus said, "Let not your right hand know what your left hand doeth."
Yeah.
You heard that scripture before, Jacob? He's talking about piano playing, obviously. Jesus is obviously like a big piano fan. And I would take it a step further that to be like a really, really excellent pianist, you have to let not this part of your hand know what this part of your hand is doing. You got to make them like two separate things. And he was really, really excellent in that last section. It really, the top line, the melody was really singing and beautiful and had its own kind of logic with growing with the lines that he was creating. And the left hand had the left part of his right hand had its own logic with the swelling of those triplets. And his left hand had the same thing. They all three kind of like separate things. I think there's a Scriabin quote where he said that, I'm paraphrasing, and this is from a biography I read years ago, but he said that the best piano players make the piano sound like something other than a piano. And I think you can interpret that. You can kind of go down into a rabbit hole of like, if you're going to orchestrate a nocturne, like what instrument are you choosing for those triplets, for the right, and for the like the top line melody, and for the left hand and the bass, and like how are you, and so then you could think of like a pianist, like how is this a cello line, and how would a cellist play this, and how does that dictate how you play it? But and you can go down that rabbit hole, and that's all well and good. I actually wrote my dissertation on that. That's a different story. Kind of on that. I compared that to Kapustin's piano arrangements, and how different lines and different things imitated a big band the same way that you can find like cello lines in Beethoven's music for piano. So like the lines, Scriabin said like it sounds like something other than a piano, and you can go down that rabbit hole like I did for my dissertation, or you can just say they need like each section or each part of the piece. Like if you look at like melody, like kind of the middle stuff, and then like the bass and how all those things interact, they all need to like follow their own logic, their own lines. They all need to interact, and that's kind of what brings it to life. It's like a really good pianist sounds like several people at once, and not because they're playing a lot of notes necessarily. It's because they're creating different lines that are communicating and have relationships with each other. And I think he does that really well. Bringing it back to Mr. Kevin Chen here, he does that really well in this piece.
You mentioned tone. Do you think that any of it has to do with the fact that Eric Liu was on the Fazoli and this young man, Kevin Chen, is on a Steinway?
I think at this like level, like of course they'll sound like slightly different. But at this level, they bring pianos in here that you can create beautiful tone. Then it's just like it's just a matter of like taste. But both are good, both are beautiful. And you can make anything out of either of those instruments. Yeah, just who gets to play on the most expensive piano, and then, but yeah, the pianos are just as, at this level, the pianos are just as subjective as the pianists, like rating the pianos. That is just as subjective as rating the pianists. So I don't think I think either instrument you can create really beautiful sounds, and they both did in both instances.
So a lot of people were saying that the judgment was unfair, and obviously you weren't in Warsaw, but just based on what you know about piano competitions, do you think that there was any nefarious behind the scenes workings with Garrick Olson to give it to America?
I don't know. I've read some of that stuff. I'm going to say no comment, because I mean I'm American. I'm like rooting for America, but I want a fair competition too. Piano playing is totally subjective, especially when you get to this like high level. It becomes more subjective actually as the level of playing increases.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, and you get kind of really, really spectacular pianists. The story of Van Cliburn winning the Tchaikovsky competition, right?
No, enlighten me.
Oh, come on, man! You're from Dallas. So it was he went and competed in the Tchaikovsky competition when tension between Russia and America were really high, and he won. And I think internet's gonna kill me if I'm wrong, but I think that the juror like went and asked Russian officials if they could award the first prize to an American, and that the Russian officials said, "Well, is he the best one?" And they said, "Yes." And they said, "Well, then yeah, award it to him." Van Cliburn came back to the U.S. as like a hero, like he'd gone and won, won the war for America and beat the Russians at piano playing, and yeah, it's a good story. I think it's like one of the reasons why. The Van Cliburn piano competition is so prestigious. It's definitely the piano competition in America, and it's one of the biggest in the world.
History seems to repeat itself.
Come on, Americans we just don't win like this stuff, really.
Yeah, it's honestly kind of fun to be the little guy for once, with American imperialism just generally being what it is. It's kind of nice to feel like the underdog and not the bad guy.
Not the bad guy. Yeah. Soccer, like America's not even close to like other countries on that level. Piano playing is honestly kind of the same thing. Well, yeah, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think of, what's your take? You asked my take. What's your take on the competition?
Oh, goodness. So I watched casually, and just if we're going off of these two performances, I prefer Eric Liu's. I mean, obviously this kid is a beast and probably like better than I will ever be. So
I don't think
my
it's
opinion,
fair. Like with the piece that we chose to like listen to, I don't think it's fair. Like Eric Liu, we did the F minor ballade, which is just like it's a different. We'd have to probably listen to something by each of these pianists of that level of difficulty. This piece is not even in the same ballpark as far as level of difficulty as that one is.
I tried to grab pieces from the same round of the competition to kind of keep it, as fair as possible. But then it's also like, I mean, Eric chose the harder piece for the first round, so you got to kind of give him points for that.
Eric also played I think I saw a video, unless it was from a previous competition, of he played the Prelude in E minor, the one that like everybody learns.
Everyone plays, yeah.
When they're in like 7th grade, A
little bit of an apples and oranges thing then. But I guess that kind of gets down to why it's kind of hard to do a piano competition.
That's right.
Because at a certain point, with just the finger wiggling Olympics aspect of it, you reach a point of diminishing returns. And then, like you said, it becomes all about taste. So then ultimately it's up to a bunch of people that have studied this music really hard and care about it to just go off of vibes. That's really the only way. I mean, it's not like it would be another thing if they hooked them up to a MIDI keyboard and then looked at every single keystroke under a microscope and, oh, this guy hit the note too loud, so points off. This is insane.
Even that, though, I mean, like the only thing you could do is like accuracy, rhythm. Chopin, like if you play a piece by Chopin completely in rhythm and don't rubato the crap out of it, then you're not doing it right. I don't even think that would work. The other thing I thought of too is like the judges. I'm sure they're like way higher level musicians than I am, which is why they were invited to judge one of the biggest piano competitions in the world, and I'm not. And I would love to hear them talk about it, because I think I would learn a lot from how they look at performances, all the stuff that I don't know.
Well, maybe if we keep reacting to their stuff, they'll ask us in 5 years.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe they'll come. Maybe we'll get like free plane tickets to Warsaw next time for next competition with our phones. Like, whoa!
Yeah. That would be pretty much my job there, is to just exist and be like, wow, 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 wow.
Yeah.
I'm not nearly smart enough to give an opinion on this stuff, other than just, wow, good job. But yeah, I mean, I thought they were both good. If we're just going off of vibes, I'm still Team Eric. Yeah. I can take the heat for it. You take most of the heat in the comments. I'll take it this time.
The concerto of the Tianyu was crazy good. Listen to that. That might be a good one. Maybe we should do a round 3 and react to that.
Yeah, or just do like a live stream where we just get a bunch of snacks and just lock in for the entire day.
I think snacks would make this channel better. I think I agree with that.
Snacks, mugs. Comment mug if you want a Ryan Kelly mug. That's all I'll say there.
Oh, please don't. The other thing that's subjective is which pieces are more difficult. Like somebody could disagree with me because that this piece is more difficult than the F minor ballade, and you could probably drum up some reasons and like argue it somehow. It's not. There's no way it's more difficult, but like you could argue. You know, I remember I played that piece at like our school did like something for Chopin's birthday, and we all had to pick a piece by Chopin. And I was like, you know, I had to do it in a week, and I was lazy, so I was like, I'm gonna do that. I thought like I'll take the easy one, and I was like, yeah. He's like, why'd you pick it? And I'm like, I just want to do something easy. And he like grabs me. He's like, there is no easy pieces by Chopin. Nothing is easy.
I took a stab at that one too, and I'm playing the right notes, but boy, does it sound bad.
No, I mean he's right to a certain extent, but like I'm sorry, this piece is going to be easier than the Nocturne that we just heard or the F minor ballade by a lot. Like
Yeah, length, speed, memory.
length, speed, number of notes, stuff you have to learn. Like okay, like it's not easy. You do have to like have some level of like expression and voicing and all kinds of things, but you know, you can achieve it. It's one of those pieces, definitely one of those pieces that played like badly by a lot of like seventh graders, at least in the US. Maybe not in other places, but yeah. All right, Jake, cool. This is great.
Cool. Thanks, Ryan. See you next time.
Hope you enjoyed that React video. If you would like to learn how to play the piano yourself, you can go to the description of this video and grab some free books in the link. If you've always wanted to play the piano and you're an adult, you found it difficult, Piano by Pictures makes it incredibly easy. Right now we're giving away 3 free books in the description. Go ahead and go to that link, click it, and grab your free books now.